Today's headlines. President Duterte flies to Vietnam to attend the APEC summit. The Office of the Ombudsman files charges against former President Benigno Aquino III over the Mama Sapano incident. The Department of Agriculture promotes the planting of hybrid rice in celebration of National Rice Awareness Month this November. And Tacloban City commemorates the 4th anniversary of the onslaught of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte is attending the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Summit in Da Nang, Vietnam. The president left for Vietnam Wednesday afternoon and will be there until Saturday. The president is expected to have bilateral meetings with other leaders on the sidelines of the APEC summit. He is likely to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump ahead of the ASEAN summit next week. He may also have meetings with Vietnam President Truong Dai Quang, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Meanwhile, President Duterte designated Executive Secretary Salvador Mediadea as officer in charge of the government while the chief executive is in Vietnam. The president signed Special Order 993 placing Mediadea in charge. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang will meet with President Rodrigo Duterte and other officials during his 5-day official visit to the Philippines for the ASEAN and East Asia Leaders Summit. Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Hua Chunying said both Li and Duterte will witness the signing of documents forging cooperation in relevant areas. Li and Duterte first met in September last year on the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit in Vientiane, Laos. They met again when Duterte visited Beijing in October. Hua said political mutual trust between China and the Philippines has deepened since the improvement of bilateral ties last year. She said the presence of Li in the leaders' meetings in Manila will have a role in strengthening China-ASEAN relations. Among China's initiatives this year are connectivity, food security, poverty alleviation, tourism, and combating corruption. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the ASEAN and the 20th anniversary of the launch of the cooperation between ASEAN and China, Japan, and South Korea. The Office of the Ombudsman filed criminal charges before the Sandigan Bayan against former President Benigno Aquino III over the Mama Sapano encounter. The former president is facing charges of graft and usurpation of official functions. Co-accused in the case are former PNP Chief Director General Alan Purisima and former PNP Staff Director Getulio Napeñas Jr. 44 PNP SAF commandos died during Oplan Exodus, where almost 400 troopers went to Mama Sapano, Maguindanao in January 24, 2015, in pursuit of wanted terrorist Zulkifli bin Hir alias Marwan. Based on the complaint, Aquino allowed a suspended police chief to be involved in the planning and execution of the operation. Aquino filed a motion for reconsideration, saying he was only exercising his duty. The Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption also filed a motion to reconsider the charges of reckless imprudence resulting to multiple homicide against Aquino. The Ombudsman denied both motions. A lawmaker lauded Malacanang's move to allocate Philippine Airlines 6 billion peso debt settlement to the government's free college education program. House Appropriations Committee Chair Carlo Nograles said using the payment for free tuition shows President Duterte's commitment towards human development. Senator Grace Poe, meanwhile, said the settlement was a good compromise to speed up collection of the flag carrier's arrears. The Senate and House Appropriations Committees have both vowed to find the needed budget to fund the law granting free tuition in SUCs. The flag carrier turned over to the government 2 checks amounting to 6 billion pesos for navigational fees and other charges. The palace announced that the money will be used to fund the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, which was signed by the President last August. The law covers 114 state universities and colleges, 16 local universities and colleges, and 122 technical vocational institutions. The Supreme Court clarified that a supposed letter from Associate Justice Marvic Leonen about the 2017 bar examination did not come from the magistrate. The SC Public Information Office posted on its official Twitter account that Leonen did not write the viral letter. The letter that circulated online commented on questions in the bar exam, which began last Sunday. It also enclosed an expectation of a high passing rate. Leonen, however, posted a different set of advice on his Twitter account for bar exam takers days before the first day of the exams. Over 7,000 law graduates are taking this year's bar exams. This will be held on all Sundays of November at the University of Santo Tomas. The Bureau of Immigration will deploy some 30 additional personnel to strengthen security in the country's southern border. The BI said more immigration officers would be deployed to 5 areas bordering Malaysia and Indonesia. The new officers will be local hires who would be trained especially on border crossing. Local hires are more familiar with their area of assignment, particularly the people who visit or live in the area. Part of the training includes identifying human traffickers, victims of human trafficking, and terrorists. The deployment of new officers would start next month or January 2018. As an added measure, the BI also strengthened its coordination with the Philippine National Police, Philippine Coast Guard, and the Philippine Navy. Still to come, operations at Clark International Airport go full swing as the national government implements its dual airport policy. The military says the supposed successor of the emir of ISIS in Southeast Asia is already dead. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues. The increase in flight operations of major airlines at the Clark International Airport confirms the viability of the national government's dual airport policy. President Rodrigo Duterte called for greater utilization of Clark and ordered the operation of both Clark and the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. To date, Clark has serviced up to 232 weekly flights and 1.1 million passengers from January to October 31. Alexander Cagiran, acting president of Clark International Airport Corporation, said more airlines are appreciating Clark's marketability and its increasing number of local destinations. The construction of Clark's new passenger terminal and runway is underway, which will take in an additional 8 million passengers annually. Meanwhile, Japan Airlines is studying the mounting of Clark Narita flights. Kagiran added that other negotiations for direct flights from Clark to the U.S., Beijing, Kuala Lumpur, Taiwan, and Thailand are ongoing. In celebration of National Rice Awareness Month this November, the Department of Agriculture is set to conduct technology briefings in the Davao region to intensify rice hybridization. Hybrid rice production is promoted as one of the most important technologies for farmers to improve rice production. Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Piñol said rice hybridization would enable the country to meet the targeted rice self-sufficiency. The DA Regional Agri-Fisheries Information Section will conduct School on the Air on hybrid rice. Farmer graduates will learn from various experts as they adapt to a changing world. Piñol added the distribution of post-harvest facilities would be prioritized to lessen production and post-harvest losses. The DA is also celebrating National Rice Awareness Month by encouraging everyone to be rice-responsible. This year's celebration urges the public to eat the right proportion of rice and its healthy forms such as brown rice and rice mixes. The residents of Tacloban City commemorated the 4th anniversary of the onslaught of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Mayor Cristina Romualdez earlier signed an executive order declaring November 8 as a day of remembrance and gratitude in the city. Malacanang also declared November 8 a special non-working holiday in the city. The city government sponsored a mass and short program Tuesday night, which include a wreath-laying and candle offering ceremony at the shipwreck site in Anibong District. The site was where the cargo ship MV Eva Jocelyn was washed ashore on November 8, 2013. Local officials led a commemorative walk from the City Hall to the Astrodome Wednesday morning. The highlight of the commemoration was the traditional simultaneous candle lighting along the streets of Tacloban, followed by the releasing of sky lanterns. Romualdez said Tacloban City has been building back better after the tragedy. She said the city would like to thank President Duterte for addressing their post-disaster needs. As Tacloban City commemorated the 4th anniversary of the onslaught of Super Typhoon Yolanda, the city government applauded President Rodrigo Duterte for speeding up the city's post-disaster rehabilitation. Malacanang declared November 8 a special non-working holiday in Tacloban City. Mayor Cristina G. Romualdez said President Duterte's order to triple recovery efforts has yielded positive results in this city. The president previously expressed disappointment over the slow pace of resettlement projects. Romualdez said about 10,000 houses were completed in the northern settlement sites, with over 9,000 of them ready for occupancy. A bus company currently transports students and workers from Tacloban North to the city proper, while public vehicles have yet to be established in relocation sites. Meanwhile, the city government facilitated processing of documents for power connection with a Leyte 2 electric cooperative. The government also acquired 6 water tankers that deliver 130 tons of water to resettlement sites daily since 2014. The Department of Public Works and Highways contracted a private provider of water to other sites. Super Typhoon Yolanda struck central Philippines on November 8, 2013, killing around 6,300 people and leaving more than 4 million people displaced and homeless. Tacloban was considered as Yolanda's ground zero. The military strongly believes that Malaysian bomber Amin Bako was among those killed in the battle to retake Marawi City from the Maute group. Bako was reportedly named as the new emir of ISIS in Southeast Asia following the death of Maute leader Isnilon Hapilon. Armed Forces of the Philippines spokesperson Major General Restituto Padilla said the remaining Maute members are already leaderless with the death of Bako. He denied that the stragglers will be able to influence the overall security situation of the city. He said the military is now searching for Bako's remains. Clearing operations will also continue in areas where the terrorists may be hiding. AFP Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Rey Leonardo Guerrero, meanwhile, assured the residents of Marawi that the military is doing its best to expedite the city's return to normalcy. A church-based peace advocacy group urged the government to reconsider the localized peace talk initiative with communist rebels. The Philippine Ecumenical Peace Platform, or PEPP, said it supports the peace talks between the Davao City government and the Communist Party of the Philippines, or CPP. However, it said the peace talks should be negotiated on a national scale. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio launched a localized peace talk initiative which President Duterte supported. The president ordered a halt on peace negotiations following attacks by the New People's Army against government troops. The CPP rejected the creation of the Davao City Peace Committee, which was tasked to negotiate with rebels in the Davao area. The PEPP meanwhile urged both parties to resume negotiations and find ways to resolve the armed conflict. Up next, a two-day exhibit features quality fabrics from ASEAN member nations. A low-pressure area threatens the eastern part of the Philippines. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Tribong Yakan may ipinagmamalaking hinabing tradisyon sa Zamboanga City, tunghayan ang kanilang makulay na likha.
Imahinasyon, kasanayan, oras at sipag. Ito ang mga katangian para makagawa ng isang magandang obra. Gaya na lang ng masinsing paghabi ng mga Yakan sa hiblang ito sa Zamboanga City. Kabilang sa etniko ng Pilipinas ang habi ng mga Yakan na kilalang damit ng mga taga-Basilan. May katangi-tanging disenyo ang bawat burda na gawa sa abaka at pinya. Gaya ng sinaluan design at kabanbudi na abstract ang mga pattern. Ang Yakan Tribal Community Weavers Association ay may 15 tindahan sa loob ng village. Ang mataas na kwalidad ng mga habing tela ng mga Yakan ay ginagamit sa mga gowns ng mga beauty queens, palamuti sa bahay, mga bag at pangregalo sa mga foreigner. Bukod sa kanilang mga hinabi, mayroon ding mga kabang kahoy na may perlas at kulintang na makikita sa village nila mula sa Lanao Region.
Ako po si Princess Habiba Saripaudak at ito ang Salam News Daily. Abangan ang iba pa naming kwento at pagtalakay sa aming relihiyon, kultura at tradisyon sa Salam TV tuwing Linggo alas 8:30 ng gabi sa PTV.
The Philippines foresees greater opportunities to expand trade and investment within ASEAN members as it hosts the upcoming ASEAN Summit. George Barcelon, ASEAN Business Advisory Council member, said the intra-ASEAN trade currently is about 25 to 26%, while intra-trade among European nations is almost 60%. Barcelon said collaborating with ASEAN nations will encourage more trade and commerce and increase investment opportunities. ASEAN BAC Chairman Joey Concepcion cited logistics as one area with high potential for investment. Meanwhile, this year's ASEAN Business and Investment Summit is slated on November 13 to 14 at the Soler Grand Ballroom in Parañaque City. Among the topics to be discussed is the ASEAN Build program, which focuses on strengthening infrastructure development across ASEAN. The best fabrics from ASEAN member nations were on display at a two-day exhibit in Taguig City. The exhibit highlighted textiles as a major industry in ASEAN. PNA editor Benj Bondoc reports.
A two-day textile exhibit titled Tela ASEAN, featuring world-class fabrics from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, opened at the SMX Convention Center Aura McKinley Parkway at the Bonifacio Global City in Taguig. The Philippine Textile Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, with support from the ASEAN Foundation and PCIEERD, will showcase the various textiles of the region as one of the sidelights a week before the country's hosting of the ASEAN Leaders Summit in Manila. The Tela or Textiles Empowering Lives, a new ASEAN Textile Conference themed Weaves of Change, Fostering Ties That Bind, is also one of the events in celebration of the Philippines as host of ASEAN's 50th anniversary. DOST-PTRI said the textile exhibit draws attention to the numerous textile industries that thrive in the region, with this year's host Philippines and other member states such as Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. The exhibit showcased the hand-woven fabrics, natural dyes, and naturally dyed products that are being used by peoples all over the Southeast Asian region, depicting each country's rich heritage, craft, character, and culture. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Pag-asa is monitoring a low-pressure area that is threatening the eastern section of the country. The low-pressure area was spotted east of Giwan, eastern Samar. It is expected to bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over eastern Visayas, Caraga, and Davao. Meanwhile, Zamboanga and Palawan will also have cloudy skies due to the intertropical convergence zone. The rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies due to the northeast monsoon. Let's take another look at the weather in the major cities and provinces around the country. Let's take another look at today's headlines. President Duterte flies to Vietnam to attend the APEC Summit. The Office of the Ombudsman files charges against former President Benigno Aquino III over Mama Sapano incident. The Department of Agriculture promotes the planting of hybrid rice in celebration of National Rice Awareness Month this November. And Tacloban City commemorates the 4th anniversary of the onslaught of Super Typhoon Yolanda. The holidays are coming soon. It's 47 days before Christmas. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.